Welcome to Two Arabs and a Podcast, a show with no limits, dating, business, martial arts, self-defense, and the life of two Arabs in America. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your hosts, the owner of Warrior Academy, the son of an immigrant, international traveler, black rank in Krav Maga, a jiu-jitsu practitioner, and Brazil's national champion. And of course, 2018 Self-Defense Instructor of the Year, a bodyguard and military combative instructors, none other than Fraz Azar. Joined by his co-host, Omar Aswad, the owner of Warrior Tactical Training, published author, Doctor of Criminology, world traveler, fluent in 4 languages, a military combat contractor, and a first-generation immigrant. The show begins now.
Welcome to another episode of Two Arabs and a Podcast. I'm Omar Aswad, joined by Firas Adab, and we have a great episode for you guys today. Firas, how's it going?
Very good. I mean, before our crowd start asking us what the fuck we're wearing on our t-shirts, I think it's the theme for today because mine says a conspiracy theorist, and Omar is
Ask me about conspiracy theories.
So you can tell already. So we're going to nip this in the butt before our contradictory folks jump on us. So a couple of things influenced us to do this. Yes, this was about conspiracy theory, theorists, and their theories out there. First of all, do understand we're doing this because it's funny and it's comical. We like to put in some humor and stuff because the way the atmosphere has been stressful lately. And the January 6th actually, what went down, pushed this between me and you, and we're having that discussion over the phone. Yeah, and exactly. Some of the behavior and some of the things that we noticed, it's kind of made us, you know what, we got to bring some of this up to light. And do understand, ladies and gentlemen, the crowd that listen to us, we have our political beliefs, but if you understand, we are not extremists. Omar is a classical conservative. I'm more of a libertarian. I'm kind of in the middle of stuff. And he is actually, to be honest with you, but he has his views. I have our view, but we look at both sides like a dumb fucks.
Exactly.
And all that going on. But before I forget, I want to give a big thank you to our sponsor, our coffee sponsor, Devil Mountains Coffee. We will put the information at the end of the episode, as always. You will read it. But I recommend it if you want a good caffeine jolt. This will bring the devil out of you. So I'll give it to Omar.
Well, what happened January 6th is crazy. And I think part of it is the conspiracy theories that led to that. And conspiracy theories, at first, it's funny. You're like, how idiotic can it be? But people actually take it serious. I mean, with the Pizzagate, somebody actually drove to Washington, D.C. with a rifle and shot up a storage
unit. I never know about that till you told me today. I was laughing about it. I never knew he went that serious.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, and I mean, what happened on January 6th is part of it is people believe conspiracy theories and went to do it.
Yep.
And before, a lot of people are getting accused of anti-patriotic and anti-American for essentially saying what happened January 6th is idiotic. Well, General Mateo said that. All the Republican congressman said that it's idiotic. So before you start labeling people un-American, maybe look in the mirror and look at who's actually supporting it and who's not. Just FYI. But conspiracy. So, of course, the infamous conspiracy about vaccines cause autism.
Yeah, let's kick that one off first because...
And that leads to the COVID vaccines. But vaccines cause autism. I mean, I got vaccinated. I don't think I'm autistic.
Well, here's what I want to explain to these folks because we're going to have somebody coming up with some weird... You know how they like to come up in Facebook especially?
Yeah.
I love our Instagram crowd. Our Instagram crowd are cool.
Yeah.
And you notice but then you go to Facebook, like I did a mistake. Well, it's not a mistake. I said, let's try to promote our shit. Oh my God, I promoted on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the fucking comments we got. I was like, I so regret this. And it's amazing. Like I was shocked at one stupid comment. I'm not going to even give them the night of day about it, but it was just dumb. So get into this, why I'm saying this. Us coming from the Middle East, by the way, Middle East is not a continent. It's part of Asia. So just listen, when people call us Middle Easterns, we're Asians.
Exactly.
So that's another conspiracy that might. Yeah. So that being said, we have a lot of, our neighbors of countries of all the viruses that kicks off.
Yep.
Like literally every year we got shots for something.
Yep.
And because when I lived in Saudi, you lived in Iraq, we had the Hajj pilgrimage.
Yeah, exactly.
So you talk about Africa, all parts of East Asia and all that coming in.
All the world. Yeah.
And the different kind of strains of flu and all that stuff. So literally we would get vaccinated and I remember even tell you the process, but even when I worked for the military, we used to get vaccinated. Remember I told you the funny part, I got shot with the same thing twice a day and nobody gave a fuck.
No, exactly.
I was standing in line and we got shot up and when I come back, always the next day. And I go look at some of the troops because I'm a combative instructor. I was like, what are you guys doing here? And they were like, we're standing for the shots. I was like, well, I took mine. This guy comes up to me, and he was like, your arm. I was like, I took a shot. He's like, all right. He just boom and hit me with another one. And it's the same thing. So I'm here and I'm alive, by the way.
Exactly.
So I'm going to tell you the process of how we have it.
And beside any immigrants, I posted that on Facebook. All the immigrants, including myself, when we come to America, we have a list of vaccines we have to take.
Oh, to enter the country, yes.
To enter the country, and it's required and normal. And some countries actually now, even if you're an American citizen, you're traveling to certain countries, they require you to get vaccinated. So
that's always been the case. By the way.
Always been the case.
There's been for visas. It's been that's something new.
It's always been thing.
Absolutely, especially work visas.
Yeah, exactly. But you don't have to get vaccinated. You can just sit in your mom's basement and don't leave, don't travel, and don't go anywhere, and you don't have to get vaccinated. So I start looking at where this conspiracy theory of vaccines cause autism, and I found that Andrew Wakefield wrote a paper in 1998. But I was like, he must have motives. Well, he did have motives. He was approached by an attorney who's trying to get compensation for his client, and said, "Hey man, I'm gonna pay you 150 pounds an hour, big amount of money back then, and I want you to write a paper that says autism is caused by vaccines." So he wrote a paper basically for an attorney. So the motive was, I'm gonna write a paper because I'm getting paid to give it to this attorney, so this attorney can go to court and collect money from the vaccine companies, even though it has nothing to do with it. So he wrote the paper and came out, and the scientific community all came out and said, "Hey, you're wrong." And actually, he retracted the paper 10 years later. He said,
"But nobody mentions that."
No one mentions that. So
they kept on going.
Yeah, he came out.
The anti-vaxxers of this country.
Yeah, he came out and he actually pulled the paper back and said, "I'm wrong," and the entire scientific community doubted it. So he pulled it back. But we still have idiots that believe in it, and they're saying they're links. And usually, these people who are saying it are the people who are actually been vaccinated.
Oh, all of these people that were born in this country got vaccinated, by the way,
Exactly.
Yeah, so they're like, "Well, I never got vaccinated." It's like, go ask your mom and dad.
Yeah, I'm like, you got vaccinated, but you're talking about, I'm not going to vaccinate your kid. Like, why? Would you, like, somebody's going to sneeze on them and they die.
Well, did you see some of the viruses on the rise again?
Exactly.
Other than the COVID shit that we're stuck with, like they said in Washington, Seattle, which a lot of the hippies, you know how they are. What is it? Oh, God, I forgot. A case of the pox or some shit is like skyrocketing. Shit that third world country eradicated.
Exactly, and now it's coming back.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. I mean, there's no connection. And that's one scientist that wrote a paper motivated by money. Usually research companies don't, when you do research, if it's independent, you don't get paid by an attorney to come up with a certain result. Usually they're independent, meaning you can come up with either result. They pay you to research and say, find out what's the outcome. They don't pay you and be like, you have to find this outcome. Of course you're going to find that outcome because you're getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what happened. And the guy retracted. So why are we still talking about it?
Well, it reached a different level. And I'm not going to put names because if I did, you know how they going to deny. Because this is what's funny about conspiracy theorists. When you call them out publicly, I have a friend that every time we sit and eat dinner and call his ass publicly, he's like, "Why the fuck you tell that? People think I'm crazy." But motherfucker, you rail the shit out of us all the time, but when it becomes public, you're still like, "Yeah, people think I'm crazy." Yeah, because you are crazy.
You are,
this is crazy talk. So one of the other things they're talking about, like now with COVID, the vaccine, supposed to be here. It is here, actually, not supposed, but I want to say supposed. We're still waiting because good job, Missouri, I'm fucking shit up again because I just read an article. The governor said something, the mayor said something else, and I guess they're saying we don't have enough, and I don't know. It's a mess as usual, and who you want to blame. And I like to blame who's in charge, and I blame the administration we have now because they're in charge. I don't give a shit what your politics is. You motherfuckers have failed and caused us a headache, and let's leave it at that. So, go into the new theories. They say Bill Gates want to chip us with these vaccines. Do you have any idea about this shit?
It has nothing to do with it. But the Bill Gates thing, by the way, there's a couple of things with Bill Gates. Bill Gates, the ID thing, was from years ago. He said basically he does a lot of community service in Africa, and he does a lot of volunteer work in Africa.
Oh, they say he killed Africans.
And he said, hey, a lot of the Africans don't have IDs, so it would be nice to actually get them an world ID, essentially an ID online that they can use and do and communicate and things like that, because they don't actually have actual IDs. So it was to help people that don't have IDs. It has nothing to do with America. It has nothing to do with us getting IDs. We already have IDs. It has nothing to do with that. And then of course, he gave a speech in 2016, I think, where he was talking about epidemics, and he said, hey, we should prepare in case another epidemic comes. Obama said the same thing.
Yes.
Conspiracy theories are spinning it and say they already knew COVID is coming. That's why they talked about it. No, how about any smart fucking person in the world? Europe spent billions of dollars on preparation for an epidemic. It's not because they were predicting a COVID. It's called preparation. The same idiots that say, why the fuck did they prepare, are the idiots that are telling you to go out and buy 5,000 bullets. Well, what? Do you plan to go to war? No, you're preparing for something to happen. happen.
Let's wait for those. So you got a big one on those.
So no, it means we're preparing for things just in case shit hits the fan. So if you go out and buy bullets, what does that mean? You're not planning to have a home invasion. You're not planning to go kill anybody. You're just preparing just in case it happens. And countries do that. We have had different epidemics. We had the bird flu, and then the swine flu, and then God knows what flu.
Well, then we have that nasty West Nile shit.
West Nile shit. So we had all kinds
of things. Terrible.
So what smart person is going to be like, oh no, we should not prepare? Of course they were concerned with another outbreak, and they had to prepare.
And this one got out of hand. So this one really hit the world harsh.
But just because somebody said 6 years ago, hey, we should prepare just in case shit hits the fan, doesn't mean they were aware it's going to hit the fan. If you tell people, hey, I'm going to teach you how to defend yourself from a home invasion, that doesn't mean you're going to plan on invading their home tomorrow.
I've been teaching for 18 years, and we didn't have home invasions. So I still prep these students.
So you prep it. It's not because you're planning on it. It's just to prep for the worst. In a country, we are all going to look at our government and say, why the fuck didn't you prepare? You already should have. I will prepare for my home, but you should have prepared for the country. So that's what they were doing. Bill Gates said that in 2016. Nothing wrong with what he said. He said, hey guys, let's should prepare just in case shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're talking about tracking in the vaccine.
And here's the crazy thing. This was the one me and you were laughing and having a good time about it. And by the way, again, guys, we're having humor, but you cannot guilt us for laughing at stupidity. So these mouth breathers, and by the way, again, I have to re-say this because literally now people like pick a side. And we understand, guys. Yes, we're immigrant blood and we are proud Arabs, but we're very proud American citizens. And I'm also proud about both of us will say we believe in law and order. We have been in chaotic countries. We have dealt with extremism. We have seen what it goes around. So part of extremism is these extremists literally base their shit on weird ideologies. I mean. Let's think about the extremists me and you grew up around.
Exactly.
What is the ideologies? They come up with books that's 4,000, 20, whatever years old, and they said, no, you can't do this, you can't. I'm like, on what base? What scientific base is this on? Where we're coming up with these ideas. So now when we talk about the tracking, now all these guys are saying we should not get shot because they're going to track us. What is this?
Exactly.
How the fuck did they catch all those fuckers when they were in and did the stupid shit at Capitol Hill?
I mean, what happened in the Capitol? They didn't track them through vaccines. They didn't track them through advanced technology. By the way, I just read an article today that said the FBI got over 1,000 confirmed tips about people that were in the Capitol from women going on Tinder and matching with people, and they brag about being there.
And they will send her videos about bragging, videos of what we did.
Exactly. So she takes the videos and sends it. So the government doesn't need to track you through vaccine, because if you commit a crime, 99% of the time, you're recording it live on Facebook.
Which they did.
They did.
These are dumbasses.
Rule number 1, if you commit a crime, leave your phone at home. Don't take it with you and they get tracked. And you're worse than that, you're recording yourself in the act of committing a crime. And on the worse than that, you're actually posting it and sharing it with strangers. And before somebody calls it a revolution and what happened, it's not a revolution. You stormed a government building. You destroyed property. You threatened public officials. That's not how we do shit in America. I'm sorry, that's not how we do. We have law and order. You don't like the government, you fight them. You run for office.
You can protest. We have that. I mean, Martin Luther King, Dr. King's birthday.
Exactly.
What did the man do?
Protested peacefully. He didn't go destroy property.
The man was even getting beat.
Exactly.
And he stood there.
No, it's not destroying property. I mean, and before somebody, here's the thing. We're going to have people, because every time I open my mouth, somebody says, well, Black Lives Matter did it 2 months ago. Well, I didn't say they were right 2 months ago.
No, I didn't say they were right. I got to attack the same thing. There's this lady Facebook, she was like, oh, if you're brown and black, it's okay. I'm like, who the hell said this? We didn't say okay. We came out last week. I'm brown. Did you see us go burn buildings down? Did we say when the BLM happened? And I'm not calling out Black Lives Matter because I believe it got sabotaged. We believe in that. When the first day happened with, help me out, when the first incident we had, was it the guy that died, they put the knee on his neck?
Floyd. Yeah.
I did a post, and I said, now, African Americans, you have a podium, the biggest podium ever on earth, because the world was watching.
Exactly.
And you have the strongest voice. Stand there and speak up. Let them know what do you want, and be clear about it. They did in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And then some weird shit just broke out in other states and burning down of Wendy's and that. We never said this is great. We always were speaking against this. But if you are protesting and standing for protest, I'm all for it.
No, stand up for your right. There's nothing wrong with that. But but don't try to justify something because somebody else did it.
Yes.
Because we, the normal people of America, the people in the middle, said this is wrong and this is wrong.
Yep.
You know, Al Qaeda beheads people. What are we going to do? Go out and start beheading people and be like, they do it? No, we don't do that.
No, we never even fought them even with weapons. We let the governments deal with it.
Exactly. So the same thing. Black Lives Matter got overtaken by a group that started burning shit and down. We came out and said this is wrong. Now, the demonstrations in January 6th got taken over and they start burning shit down. We're saying this is wrong.
No, we're not saying everybody that protested that went up to hear Trump speak, that all of them. I have friends. We have friends that family. And they even said, we don't know what the fuck happened. All hell broke loose from the other side.
No, got overtaken. And I made a YouTube video, by the way, about the group mentality and rioting and how groups can take over a riot and start shit.
When we teach, don't we always speak the danger, the risk of protest?
Exactly.
Because this group, again, I'm not against protesting, but as a self-defense instructor, and Omar is also a self-defense instructor when it comes to guns and that, and he wrote a book about this. My coach wrote a book about this. The unfortunate thing about going for protest is this other crazy side that comes in and take over,
and then
everybody gets
the group mentality follows the tiny people because there's no centralized leadership.
Yep.
And that's what happened. And I mean, but these conspiracy theories are essentially not funny because they're actually getting people.
There's a lot of this got fueled by conspiracy theories.
I mean, how many people? I don't have a statistic, but how many kids died in America, in a civilized country, because they didn't get vaccinated because their parents thought it caused autism, even though they got vaccinated.
Yeah.
How many people? We don't know the number, but I'm sure there's a lot of kids that died. And I mean, this is the problem: is people are not subject matter experts, and they're taking their own agenda and pushing it as subject experts.
They're not medical people.
They're not medical
They're
people.
not that. Half of them, I mean, barely had their freaking high school degree. I mean, I'm a father, by the way. So when somebody jumps on us because they're gonna go about Omar, he's a married man, but he's not a father. I'm a father. I have a grown 17-year-old. You know Adam.
Yeah.
He's been taking his shots. When we traveled, he took his shots overseas. When he was in Brazil, we had to take certain shots.
Exactly.
Is there anything wrong with my kid?
No, nothing at all. Besides being 6'2" or something.
Maybe that did it. Yeah, so I gotta go get that new shot.
Exactly.
So here's a conspiracy.
Makes you taller, so go take it.
I'm for it.
No, but seriously, it gets out of hand. And here's the problem: is we have idiots. We talked about this. We have idiots in this country that have never finished high school, but they want to homeschool their kids. And these are the people who don't want to vaccinate their kids.
And they're the conspiracy theorists. They're on YouTube, this shit.
I'm like, dude, you're an idiot yourself. How are you going to teach your kid to not be an idiot? Like, you're an idiot yourself. You should send them to school. And they're talking about vaccines. It gets out of hand, honestly. You know?
And just going again before we... Guys, we live in a pandemic right now. This is becoming an unfortunately... since we're about the shots, let's speak about the pandemic we're in. Now they're labeled pandemic.
Exactly.
There's a video coming. Let me be clear. In the beginning when this shit happened, we were all like confused.
Yeah.
Me and him. I was one. I even stopped... And I had to pull myself out because sometimes... First of all, me and him as small business owners, we got fucked by our local government and the federal government.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what stemmed our anger. So then you sit at home and man, I felt I got caught up.
No, exactly.
I got in this whole thing when I got watched this pandemic thing. And I was like, dude, it sucks you in. And then they put these things and they put facts and they go crazy. So one of the people that always was against it, doesn't believe it, got smacked with COVID a couple of weeks ago. And his tone have changed about it.
Oh, exactly.
But he doesn't want to go public and say it. I even said, why don't you go talk to the people that you always said about it? And he's like, I'm just going to live my life. I just looked at him, so you're going to let your ego override the truth? Exactly. You have an obligation right now.
No, but when you sit at home, I feel like, because it happened to us, when you sit at home and you have nothing going on, you start thinking of random shit out of nowhere.
Yeah, remember.
And you start, and here's the thing: with everybody being able to do YouTube videos and post online, an idiot with a GED can go and make a video and debunk doctors. Then what end up happening is you basically have a bunch of information, and if you look for something bad enough, you'll find it.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, people believe in Bigfoot. What? Because why? If you really keep digging, you'll find enough proof that he exists.
We know someone that believes Bigfoot sits in the forest and jerks off when looking at women through their fucking homes.
Exactly.
And this is not a joke. This is serious talk. Fucking, what is that other maniac that they listen to? Alex Jones? Is he one of those idiots?
Every conspiracy theory started because of him, by the way. 99% of conspiracy theories.
Well, didn't we say that a couple of years ago and people hated us?
No, exactly. I mean, he's the guy who's talking about COVID vaccines, do not take it, but he pushes his supplements that cures all diseases, including COVID.
His silver drops and special toothpaste so you can not lose your third eye.
What the contradicting thing is, he says, I don't believe in COVID, it's a conspiracy. Then says, take my medication, it cures all diseases, including COVID. So he just admitted COVID exists. And the guy that he brings as a doctor on the show, he went to Harvard. Apparently, Harvard came on and said he'd never been here. He took an online free course at Harvard.
Wow.
Like, literally, anybody can go take an online classes at Harvard. They have free classes. He took one class, and he claims he's a Harvard graduate. He says, I went to Harvard. I mean, technically, he did. He went to Harvard for one class.
What does that mean?
So I've been to Stanford. I walked through the campus once. So what am I going to say? I'm a Stanford graduate because I walked through the campus? It doesn't work like that.
No, I get it. I understand. And the other... Then this asshole, Alex Jones, when he went to court, he said this is entertainment?
Yeah, he said
is that what him or his attorneys?
Yeah, no, he did. He said with the school shooting, he denied the school shooting ever had taken place, and he said it's a green screen, and that nobody died, and all these kids were fucking lying, and blah blah blah, and we don't have school shootings in America.
Suddenly, when it hit the fan and he got sued,
he said it's entertainment. I'm not actually. This is not educational. This is not factual. This is an entertainment gig. Okay, so people are taking you serious though. People are doubting school shootings. And we all know people. I know people on Facebook. I know them in person. I know them through this that actually died or lost loved ones in school shootings or in Vegas.
I had the ones in Colorado when that Batman movie was going on.
Yeah.
I was traveling and that news broke up.
And then what? That's going to be conspiracy. They're all lying. Why? There's like, what the hell? Why they're lying? I mean, going back to the vaccines, COVID started 5G. So my phone actually caused the...
I have someone... So during the COVID, like I said, we were all stuck in this and you start listening. I mentally, I'll tell you, listen to certain people. Yeah, so that's stressful. I took my hat off. My head was blown. It took me till now to realize, holy fuck, I was getting drained mentally. Yeah. I had a couple of friends that would call and get you, and you get sucked into it and shit. Literally right now, when it came around November, December of 2020, I cut off. You know me. Yeah. And how I cut off from people. No communication, nothing. I'm not going to sit and he did, she said, block. In the 5G, I literally had certain people complaining as soon as they read something, man, I'm getting headaches. These 5G towers. I'm like, huh? What 5G towers? And all this shit. I was like, well, I have 5G and all now on my phone. Nothing's happening to me and all this shit. And suddenly they said, yeah, it fries your brain and electrocutes everybody. And that's how, I was like, motherfucker. The government has ways of looking at your ass, what you're doing at home long time ago before the shit.
Exactly.
What are we talking about? I mean, we are folks that came from the Middle East. Do you understand the spying that goes on us? No, we are the people that sit in hookah cafeterias, we call them, outside. How many times do we see people get snatched?
Exactly. Because you'll be sitting in the hookah shop, and there'll be intelligence, somebody sitting in civilian clothing, and the minute you mess with the government, they're going to flip a badge and put you in the trunk.
Yep.
There's like, it's not like a conspiracy that actually happens.
Yes.
But here's the thing though. My dad asked me something. My dad said something which is actually very true. He said, my generation, him growing up in the Middle East, we took every step to keep our privacy and not share anything with anybody we don't know, and we don't tell anybody we don't know, and we don't talk about politics with anybody we don't know. But he's like, your generation, you fart, you put it on Facebook and Instagram. The government doesn't need to go out of their way to find out what you're doing, because you're doing it for yourself. You actually, if they need to know what Omar is doing, all they have to do is check my Instagram.
I remember as growing up when I hit my teen years and I started driving and shit like that. I mean, I was driving before my parents did, but no. But anyway, you know how that goes. Legally driving. I remember, I bet you had this lecture, especially for who your dad is.
Yeah.
Don't talk to, grabs you. Don't fucking talk politics.
Yeah.
Don't start talking against religion. Don't do
Yeah,
this. Yes, Mom. Yes, Dad. Yeah. And it's like memorized every day. Because that's how it was.
No, exactly.
And now here, they're sitting and telling us shit, and I'm just rolling my eyes and laughing about the shit that they're doing. And I'm like, well, of course now they're getting snatched left and right for the crimes they committed. And they're like, they're labeled as terrorists, man. I'm like, welcome to the club.
Yeah, exactly.
We've been labeled like that since 9/11.
But the question is, first of all, if they need to, let's say the government needs to know what Falas is doing, why would they spend money on technology on finding what he's doing when he posted on Instagram himself? First of all. Second of all, what the fuck do you have that the government need to know that's so secretive about you? You're sitting in your trailer park jerking off to fucking gay porn. So what do they need to know about you? That's got a pony watch? Like, what do they need to know? You're not building rockets to go to space. You're not doing anything like major. You're actually sitting in your basement watching conspiracy theories. What the hell do they need to know about you? Like, do you think that's significant for them to know?
That drives me crazy. It's like, who are you? what are you doing?
Like,
What
are you a
about you
nuclear
that's so
scientist?
special that the government needs to go after you out of these millions and billions of people around
Are you a
here?
nuclear scientist? Are you a major doctor who's coming up with a cure for something? Are you a Bill Gates? Are you Elon Musk? Like, who are you? You're nobody. You're literally nobody.
And you know what drives me crazy? I've noticed some of the people that talk about this shit don't even vote. They're not that involved in everything. But they have things to say about the government.
No, exactly.
Things to do. First of all, I do believe on, me. I believe if you want to be, you have to be proactive. Get involved in your community. Get pushing. Literally, I'll tell you this, by the way, I forgot to tell you this, and it's a good timing. So, you know how our beloved mayor in the city fucked the shit out of us in Jackson County, how they skied up our property.
Yeah.
Man, I was like so frustrated with it. I was like, the timing we're in it. So I was like, what am I going to do? There's a lady running for a congressional seat or something. She did a post. I hit her up. She messaged me back. We've been in discussions, going to have a Zoom meeting to work with me how we can fight this with other people in my community.
Exactly.
Did I sit and scream and said it's a conspiracy, the government is taking me broke? No. I went proactive. There is people in the city and the government will work with you if you voice it. I'm not saying they're all good. I'm not saying they're all angels. I hate politicians. But you have to do something and you have to find out for yourself. Not sitting in your fucking trailer or in mom's basement and twittering and Facebooking all about the shit.
Exactly.
And the whole time, and you go and everybody and tell them like, man, we can go over. I mean, we have a list before we get it. So here's the other thing I want to talk about. So we talked about the whole scamdemic, whatever. They don't believe in it. And it's really a virus. I don't know. People are dropping left and right. They don't believe in it.
No, Alex Jones, by the way, he's the one who said it doesn't exist at all. There is no such thing as COVID-19. It's the global government that doesn't exist came out and basically made up this lie so they can take freedoms away.
The New World Order, they're calling them.
Hold on a second. If anybody actually believes in a world order, go watch the UN. They can't agree on fucking any bill.
Oh, Jesus
the Security Council is 6 countries and they can't agree on a bill.
Never they do.
And you think that 198 countries are going to be all on a conspiracy and they're going to take freedoms? You think they do?
For the first time ever, we as Arabs celebrating that Arabs are uniting. The Gulf, not Arabs. The Gulf only.
Gulf, yeah.
The Gulf. And I don't know if our listeners understand this other than Arab. The Gulf is just a region.
Yeah, like 6-7 countries.
From how many Arab countries?
Yeah, out of like 28, there's 6-7 countries.
That finally start talking eye to eye and agreed, all right, we acknowledge Israel, let's talk.
No, but the thing is, why would China try to make an epidemic to take freedoms away? They take freedoms away without a reason. So why would they like...
See, here's one thing though. It's not a conspiracy theory. I do believe this is a China fuck-up.
No, it is a China fuck-up. Yeah,
and I do believe, this is me believing, and I'm not a conspiracy theory. Those pieces of shits, and I'm not a fan of that country at all. I'm not anti-Chinese people. That government needs to be out.
The communist government.
That government needs to be out. So I do believe they kind of worked with something and it went haywire.
No, exactly. I think it went out of
Because
control.
now the WHO, which everybody of course is against by the way, they say, oh, they're funding it. I'm like, oh, fuck off. The World Health Organization.
Yeah, exactly.
Suddenly is another one. That's another conspiracy theory, by the way. They've been trying. I think they kicked them out first.
Yeah.
Now they're back, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So there's something to it. That if you want to go there, yeah, the Chinese are behind it.
No, exactly. I think started in a lab and probably got out of hand.
Yes.
Just spread.
Yeah. So the other thing that I'm wondering, or I mean, if we're in it, because there's a lot of things we can go about. Are we off with COVID?
Yeah.
There? Okay. What is your obsession, conspiracy theory with pedophilia? What is this crazy out of... And here's the thing. We're not saying pedophilia doesn't exist. And I do believe... See, here's the problem with you in this country. Where we come from, pedophiles get executed. We won't have this discussion. We wouldn't have this trail. Oh, we think somebody's in the government fucking kids all the way in Mars. Like, oh my God, we can have a list there. But why is this such driven with crazy ideas about pedophilia? Why is the pedophilia thing is such a major conspiracy theory drive? I just have no idea.
Doesn't make sense. And they say, they drink kids' blood to stay young. But the people they mention all look like they died 10 years ago. So I'm like, what? They obviously don't look young at all. And second of all, I mean, honestly, this is the question that I have, and I'm not trying to anything. But these guys are billionaires, and they have money, and they have everything they can, and they're claiming A-star celebrities and shit like that. These guys can pick up their choice of models and world-famous stars and things like that. Why would they go rape kids in their basement of a pizza shop and this? Like
in a pizza shop. This is what drives me crazy. We're not saying that this doesn't happen. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of sick fucks. Yeah. I haven't seen it in the Middle East.
Yeah.
So that's not. But why would they do it in a pizza shop? Why is a pizza shop?
I mean, there was Epstein. We know the guy is a rapist. We know he's there, but we don't know the 50,000 people that were tied to him. Nothing came out. Everything comes out. WikiLeaks posts everything every now and then. But
yeah,
Epstein. Yeah, we know that he was going on islands and he was a sick fuck.
And there's a lot of people around him that goes for this. But I think what was that?
By the way, the pizza shop that they said there's a pizza shop in New York City, or excuse me, in Washington D.C. that they rape kids in the basement.
So basically, Hillary Clinton, she's one of them that leaves her house and goes to the basement.
To a basement.
Of that pizza shop to sleep with kids.
Exactly. Except the pizza shop doesn't have a basement. At all. There's no basement.
Is that where the guy went? I mean, how do you come up with that?
The city came out with the structure of the building. Yeah. And a guy actually drove from another state with a rifle and shot up the doors. And he found out there is no basement. There's only a storage unit. The building doesn't have, and in D.C. they don't have basements because of the floods. So actually, that building doesn't have a basement at all. Like, there's no basement. So how are you going to come up with this conspiracy and there's no basement? But of course, they kept going. Mm-hmm. They kept going. I mean, but these conspiracy theories, they basically start a lie, and when the lie doesn't come true, they just keep going to the next level, and they justify it. They're like, oh, no, there's no basement because they fuck kids on Mars.
Oh, that's the craziest one.
Okay, Mars.
Yeah, literally, so we, with the technology and how much it costs to shoot a fucking shuttle up to the fucking space, they're shooting up kids, flying them to Mars, so politicians can go and sleep with them.
How long does that take to go back and forth?
Oh, no, it's too much. It's already making my head itch. And here's the thing. All right, we do believe there's things going on. There's kids missing. This is one of the countries that's highest on that level. We, in Kansas City, Missouri, are known for trafficking.
Yeah, the hub.
I know people involved that I even trained to retrieve kids. So we're not denying this. But the way you guys are going about it. All right, so let me nip it at the butt. Most of these guys are accusing everybody of being pedophile. Why are you not involved in the community against child trafficking? Why don't you go apply to those units? There's units. It's physical and that's a lot of work. Why don't you go there and apply? Why are you sitting home the whole time? So-and-so is a pedophile. So-and-so is dead. Do you know where I come from? That's considered defamation. If you go and call somebody a pedophile and it's not proven, this was a defamation of character.
Exactly. No, exactly.
But I just don't know this obsession with pedophilia.
And of course, the Wayfair closets, the website, they're like, oh, they ship kids, and when you buy a drawer, they ship the kid in it.
Oh my God, remember that one? Yes.
Okay. Yeah. First of all, their stock went up, by the way, just instead of down. So actually, I won one of the people that made money off the stock going up. So thank you. Second of all, how do they ship kids in furniture? Like, wouldn't the UPS know when a kid is screaming and shouting? Second, like how?
Oh, you open the door, but now you're gonna have people say, "They drug them, they don't."
Like, okay, but the whole conspiracy started because why would they have a cabinet that's $100,000 on a Wayfair? Well, Wayfair is like Amazon; anybody can list any item. So if you go to Amazon, I can list my phone and I say I want $1 million for it. They're not sold by Amazon; they're sold by third party. So the third party can set ridiculous prices. And sometimes third parties when they have limited inventory, they set ridiculous prices just so they can change it later on. They don't want to delete the listing or set it as inactive, because if you set it as inactive, it basically doesn't show in search results and affects the listing. So they keep it active and they just set it at a really ridiculous price so nobody buys it. That happens all the time. That happens at Amazon. That happens at eBay. You go find a watch and it's like $2 million. Well, of course it's not $2 million. They just set it that way so nobody buys it so they can change the listing later on. They're probably short on stock or something. So, it's nothing crazy about having a ridiculous price. How do they ship kids in cabinets? This doesn't make sense.
And the other crazy thing, they all believe, and I've listened to somebody, he has a family that are all tied into conspiracy theory to the point that I can't anymore. I just laugh, but it's becoming more now from a joke to moronic. And they believe, and I don't know why it's tied to this president, but they believe he's the leader of catching every pedophile for some reason. Yeah. And he's like helping to get this. I was like, so if you think, as braggadocious as Trump is, if they caught all these pedophiles like they say he's been doing secretly and bombing them, wouldn't he not come and take credit for it?
Exactly.
The dude is taking credit for the peace in Israel that he didn't even have a part in it because he's just a face. Let's be honest. We all know this.
No, exactly.
But you see how he's bragging about it?
No, he's a very braggy person. He's not going to shut up about something like that. But I mean, it's the same conspiracy. He's going to go blackout and he's going to arrest all the pedophiles.
Yeah, the 10 days of darkness are coming. So they said even when they got excited with they got this raging boner for this. At January 6th, I keep hearing, he's going to go on stage and he's going to show the truth and he's going to bring JF Kennedy. The fuck? How old is the dude? He got shot, his head got blown in front of everybody.
You have to be 40 to be president, right? So if he was 40 in the 60s, he means like what? He's hundreds and something by now?
Add to it, they said he was going to bring Michael Jackson too. So I waited, none of this shit happened.
And Tupac comes to, and Jesus comes out of stage.
Fucking, this is things I'm saying that these guys are saying. And they would listen to these people.
Here's the thing. I'm nothing against Trump, okay? This is about election results, right?
Yeah.
You vote for a person, and your person doesn't win. You move on, and you hopefully in the next 4 years you get the guy that you wanted. That's how democracy works, right? And an election is not about who gets 700 million votes, 70 million. It's about who gets more. So Biden got more, and call it a day. But a lot of people are questioning, how can Trump lose? I mean, I'm just saying, I am more on the conservative Republican side, but Trump has been averaging about 50% approval rate for the last 4 years, according to Fox News. So if the guy is barely hitting 50% according to Fox News, then why the fuck do you think there's a 100% chance of him winning? It's 50-50. He's been doing 50% on the whole 4 years. So if he has only 50% approval rate, why wouldn't you think he's going to lose?
Right.
I mean, not that crazy thought.
I was a little bit, I don't know. When I saw the election results, I'm like, wow. I mean, I was like, wow. Okay, so a couple of things played a role. Oh, look, why it took forever. Yeah, I did. You know why? This is the first time ever in history that he had people so charged up and pissed the fuck off that went out and voted.
Yeah.
And I hope to God this is going to be a thing always, every time. And I wish we get the same result for local elections as well.
No, exactly.
Because that's why it took so long. But they say, oh, they came at night and they pulled machines. But you know what? I think he feeds into it and he knows the crowd.
Yes, exactly.
He's not a dumb guy.
No, he is. He's smart.
He knows how to. It got manipulated in a way, and that was kind of part of my turn off with all this. I'm like, you know what?
No. First of all, and this is the first year we have actually mail-in results or mail
much because of the virus
of the COVID, and a lot of people are saying, "Well, Biden campaign sucked." Yes, it really sucked. He had a really weak campaign. How could he have get all these people? Well, here's a very simple thought. A lot of the people that voted for Biden, they didn't vote for Biden because they love Biden, because they hated Trump.
Yeah,
that's the reality.
That is a big influence. That's 100%. Yes,
they don't give a. I've talked to people and they said, "I don't give a fuck about Biden. I don't really care about it.
Yep.
But I'm voting for him despite Trump." So hold on a second.
We have a very good conservative friend that flat out said to you and I, he's like, "I'm voting for Biden because this guy pissed me off."
Exactly. So if that's the case, then yeah, his campaign is going to be weak because people don't want to listen to him. They don't really care about him. But they're going to come out charged to vote. And actually vote for Biden just because they don't like Trump. So it's not a crazy theory. Trump has been averaging 50% approval rate. Trump has pissed a lot of people off, including Republicans. I mean, we see it in the Senate now. A lot of Republicans who are seasoned Republicans coming out and speaking against Trump.
You know me, I'm a big fan of this man, Congressman Crenshaw.
Exactly.
You know how much he's one of the few Republicans I respect, and he spoke about the voting results. And about everything. Now he's attacking Biden, which is part of it. He's a congressman. He's a Republican. Does not believe in the other side. He's doing his job.
Exactly.
But when the voting thing started, he fought it. And when this Capitol Hill attack happened, and the loss of the law enforcement officer, he went against it.
Yeah.
This is what you should do as an American.
Exactly.
This is what I'm trying to say.
And he got labeled an American and a coward.
I know. I saw the comments, and it shows you how these people are. I went to these comments. You're a fraud. You're just a wannabe Avenger because, he likes to make those, high-level kind of commercial shit. I just think it's cool. And European, I'm like, this is a guy that went to war.
By the way, he went to war not with the National Guard. He was a Navy SEAL. Okay, he wasn't like some wounded warrior who went to Afghanistan and sat on base. He was a Navy SEAL. Didn't he lose his eye there? Like, the guy is a Navy SEAL.
All these fat fucks, Matt Wheelers out there could not even apply for this shit.
He's actually a Navy SEAL. And with the combat experience.
He's a hero.
He's an actual hero, and your guys are disrespecting him. And un-American, and a coward. Okay,
let's be honest. General Mateus, did you see the comments?
Yeah, un-American.
And you got pissed off when you started going off for the first time. I didn't see you get that personal, but he bothered you.
I mean, General Mateus is one of the generals in the U.S. history. Mm-hmm. The guy is a hero. He spent his entire life being a great general, leading from the front, taking care of his men.
He resigned during this administration,
and I mean, this guy has a track record of being the most, when I think America, I think General Mateus. When you think the definition, his picture's there. Like, there's nothing more American than this guy. And people are attacking him. Oh, you're not this and that. The guy is very
conservative. They called him a coward. They called him a traitor. How is he a traitor?
The guy is very conservative, by the way. He's very conservative.
But how is he a traitor?
But conservative doesn't mean you have to worship Trump, just FYI.
Yeah.
I'm conservative. You don't have to worship a political party. You can be liberal and not worship Biden. You can be, Christian and not believe in the Pope. You don't have to be, just because I'm conservative, I have to worship Trump. You can admit when your own fucking person in your own party fucks up.
Yep.
I mean, that's the nice thing about democracy. It's like, yeah, I'm actually a Republican, but Trump wasn't doing that great in the last 4 years, and I can see why he lost among the Democrats. That's a reasonable thing to say. A reasonable person would be like, no, he's God, and he should have won 100%.
And speaking of God, some of these people believe he's like God sent.
Oh, my God.
It's like, I have saying people that said he's blessed and he's God chosen. I'm like, wake the fuck up and stop with this imaginary shit. Why all waiting for some squirrel shooting lightning bolts at us and shit like this? This is crazy.
Yeah.
There's no politician out there that should be God sent. There's none of this. This is nuts. And let's be honest. They call him Christian and he loves the Bible. That dude doesn't know what the Bible is.
They asked him on an interview, by the way, and this is not me bashing anybody, just setting facts. They asked him in an interview, they said, what's your favorite Bible verse? He said, I love the whole Bible. It kind of makes me think that he never read the Bible. Because, I'm an atheist and I can quote the Bible. And I'm like, if somebody asks me what's your favorite verse, I'll come up with one or two, I'll be like, John 3:16. Like, at least say something, But he's like, oh, no, I love the whole Bible. It just kind of makes me think that he never read it and doesn't know shit about it.
The other thing that makes me wonder about these conspiracy theorists, and they are extremists, and they're very right-wing extremists, I think, from what I've noticed. The other thing is, when they're making him as a demigod, okay? This is what they are. This is why, that because I've seen people have posters of the guy like it's crazy looking. I mean, I'm a guy that grew up in the Reagan era. I used to have the jelly beans because my dad, used to love Reagan, and that's a different kind of president. And I loved Reagan, But there was isn't that a video back in the day? If they asked him if he ever wanted to run for presidency, he said, I would run as a Republican, even though he was a Democrat.
Yes.
Because he said they're not smart and they're easy to win.
Yeah, he said that himself. 1994.
Yep. That's not a conspiracy theory. You should see the video.
That's on video, by the way.
Yep.
I mean, the other things to move away from elections. Global warming. Wind turbines cause death and cancer. The wind turbines.
Huh?
The wind turbines. Trump said that, actually.
Oh, I remember hearing that. I never paid attention to it. Sorry, that just hit me.
Trump said it, and Alex Jones ran with it and said, the turbines cause death and cancer.
So, okay, all right. Let's dissect this. Where did that logic come from? What happened?
There's zero. I tried to look like even one scientist who got paid.
So how did it come about?
Zero. Nothing.
He just said it and they ran with it?
Yeah, he said it, and Alex Jones ran with it and said, yes, it does cause cancer, and this. I'm like, okay, then half of Europe should have cancer and died by now. Because they all use turbines. Like Sweden, I'm pretty sure they depend on it. I would just say.
Nah, I lightly heard about that, but I mean, all right. Like, well, I'll tell you. I mean, now they believe there's aliens and UFOs and all this shit, and the government came out with it. Okay, I can see something there, but I just don't want to go deep into it. Until the eye. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, the only time I saw a chupacabra in fucking Mexico, I was so lit drunk it turned out to be a donkey. It was in Tijuana, Mexico. I'll tell you, this was terrible and shameful. Luckily, nothing else happened to me. I went out and drank shit tequila for the first time. Dumbass motherfucker I was, late 90s. I went in with these guys, and all I know, I woke up, I thought I saw something weird. It was a fucking donkey tied up. And I freaked out, then I dropped, and then I woke up. I had no shoes, no belt, no wallet. That was my story of meeting a chupacabra. It was just a donkey, and I got knocked out. Terrible. I didn't blame the donkey for taking my shit. I know I got robbed.
Yeah, exactly. The other big one is Syrian refugees are ultimate Trojan horse. They're coming to America to blow America up.
Oh my God, that one, yes.
By the way, I looked up, in the last 20 years, there's been 0 terroristic attacks or shootings by a Syrian in the United States. Like 0. Nothing. Like literally 0. Not even 1. So these guys are the ultimate Trojan horse, and they came to America for 20 years and haven't done shit. Just FYI. They are a torn war country, and they're moving out of the country by not choice. They have nowhere to go.
Nice.
They're living with a dictator that's bombing them with chemical warfare. Russia's hitting them with one side.
Oh, yeah, Russia's part of it.
And then the U.S. is not doing shit about it. So, okay, cool. Whether you want them to go, they came to the U.S. Ultimate Trojan horse.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew about it. I heard the stories. I mean, we have ISIS down there, and that was the formation from the fundings we did here.
Yeah, exactly.
That turned against us because they thought they're going to fund these rebels to help, and then boop, turned their back on. I mean, isn't that how like fucking Osama bin Laden came in power?
Yeah. I mean,
this is not a conspiracy theory. These are facts.
No. I mean, Charlie Wilson. And by the way, a lot of people do not know. Bin Laden was recruited by Charlie Wilson, who's a Democrat from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole Al-Qaeda support and this was not started by a Republican or this and that. It was started by an actual Democrat who partied and did cocaine and actually got more times visited by the ethical committee than any congressman probably at the time. And he started supporting Al-Qaeda to fight the Russians. It has nothing to do with religion. Just FYI.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
It is. So the other big one is, I think we touched on it. Kanon came out and said that Trump is going to do a storm, the day of the storm, where he's going to shut down all the power and take over the media.
Is that the 10 days, nights of darkness of bullshit?
Yeah. So they said, no, now it's 1 day. Now they took it down to one.
It keeps dropping.
Yeah, they don't have time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost over. So they said he's going to shut down all the media. He's going to take all the social media, shut down the electricity, and it's the storm to arrest all the pedophiles in the United States. And by the way, my ex Liz shared that on her Instagram.
Yeah, she went dum-dum.
Yeah,
I saw with her. She went from atheist to conservative to water hippie chakra.
Yeah.
You see that you see how things happen in the head of people, and I'm not targeting just that person, but I'm talking of observations. Sorry, too much coffee. Blame these guys. But I've noticed. Let's touch on that psychologically. You were in criminology. I have a graduate in criminology. You went to higher learning in that, and I've worked a lot in the mental field. In hospitals and all that. And when people get put in a corner, it can be anything. Breakups. That can take somebody down.
Exactly.
Mentally, physically.
Exactly.
You know, I had hurtful times that I, as a friend, was like, "Come on, man, let's just sit and talk."
Exactly.
But if you were around guzzling bottles, what would happen to you?
No, exactly.
So you got that. Then you say, "Man, what did I do? Did she fuck me around?" You start getting like weird about shit.
You get
Yeah. So breakups, financial issues. I was one of them. Remember last year? Fuck, I stroked out. I don't think I'm blind in this eye because of this shit. And start getting deep and deep in it. Financial loss, death in the family.
Yeah.
I mean, so everybody has you cannot judge what makes a person tick and loss. But here's the problem. So when you go through this, you get these other things around. And I've read, man, I wish I did a good job on getting the documentation of this. But there is also on Netflix, I think, a documentary about the influence of social media.
Yeah.
And there was a psychologist talking about how the brain waves get shaped when you start watching YouTube. Remember back in our time, it was the radio? Yeah. Remember our friend would listen and they started listening to this crazy shit? Let's speak of conspiracy theory in the Middle East. Didn't we blame everything on Israel?
Yeah.
Remember growing up?
That was government-sponsored conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that we had those. And it was government sponsorship.
Yeah.
So you got that. But when people are really hurt or down inside and mentally shut down with shit, this comes in. And it plays a role. And we're just speaking of this person, just for instance, and see the shift. I'm like, man, whatever the relationship was, I've known that person too. I'm like, what the hell just happened? This is not normal. This is, So you see when it hits you. And it's like, but then you get these people that are just so malfunctioned that they continue with this. They continue and continue with it.
No, exactly. Yeah, but it's weird. So back to Pizzagate. I think we're almost...
We're not done with it?
No, just to go a couple things.
How terrible.
So it started with the Hillary Clinton campaign manager. His emails got hacked in 2016.
Okay.
And it got published. But here's the funny part. This group came out and said that there was coded messages within the emails. You know how you take the first letter from the third word and you take this and you take that and you form a new sentence? I'm pretty sure if you hack anybody's email and you start looking that depth and you smoke a lot of weed and sit and do nothing for hours, then you can find coded messages in any email. I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's...
This is why when I get lit, I go to sleep.
Exactly, because seriously, the emails got hacked. There's nothing to do with pizza. There's no mention about it. There's nothing at all. Mm-hmm. But they start coding messages. And the same group are, by the way, doing it to Trump tweets now. They're like, he sent...
I saw that. Yeah. As much as, like, I'm disappointed about things They're trying to say that he's quoting some. I was like, guys, stop.
No,
he's not inciting anything right now. He's done.
He's never coded. He's never done shit. The guy got banned for it.
Yeah.
But no, he's not coding shit. If you look at anything, I'm pretty sure
he just likes to yell and blabber everything out of the hip, shoots out of the hip.
No, exactly. But if we take any document, you take that document right there, and you start looking into it in depth, and you take the letter from this word and letter from this word and letter from this word, it can form a secret message and make it say whatever it wants to say. Absolutely. And that's what they did. They found basically, and they said, okay, cool. Here's party officials and this and that having orgies with kids in a pizza shop, and by name they named the pizza shop.
Man, I like pizza. This makes me not want to go eat anymore.
And a man from North Carolina drove from North Carolina all the way to DC.
Leave it to the South.
Yeah, the pizza place, by the way, is Comet Ping Pong, and to investigate himself. He decided to go investigate himself with a rifle, shot up the doors, and found out there's no basement.
You see how dangerous this shit can go?
So actually, he followed through and shot up doors.
He went with an AR?
Yeah. And he was not the first one. There's another person that did. Went after him.
What happened to that pizza shop, by the way? I mean, are they in business or after the shot? I would have shut that place down.
The restaurant owner staff said they received death threats. They received calls. By the way, the theorist claims that there's a network that connects the pizza shop to the White House, and that's how they go to it. Turns out there's no basement at all, as I mentioned earlier. InfoWar had a lot of things to do with it. InfoWar came out and talked about...
That's Alex Jones.
Yeah, Alex Jones people. But the funny part is, they retracted. They pulled their videos down and deleted it. They don't do that usually unless they know there's bullshit. But I'm pretty sure they got scared of lawsuits because you're going after an actual business. This is not a politician. And
people's lives on the line.
And people's lives on the line, exactly. So they retracted and they pulled up the videos and deleted it all by December 14th. It's just weird. And I mean, it's been discredited by the way, all the news agencies, I'm going to read you this. Sorry, I'm reading from my phone. But include the people that actually fact-checked it, okay, is the New York Times, numerous news organizations, including Fox, the Washington Post, the Independent in London, the Huffington Post, the Washington Times, the Los Angeles, Fox News DC, Fox News 5, CNN.
So you got conservative media and Democratic media saying the same thing.
Fox News. I mean, Fox News is conspiracy conservative, conservative as they come. The Miami Herald, the Metropolitan Police Department of District of Columbia, characterized as fictional. The police department actually investigated it. All these news agencies investigated it. All these media and honestly, international. So what else you need?
The wish that you put down, okay? Yeah. No, it just hit me. I mean, I'm just thinking as my head's going through all this. Imagine you're the cop getting the police that getting this call,
and you have to go investigate this dumb shit.
Just think about that. Yeah. Just for a second, like FBI. You have family in the FBI, and just think about that. You literally somebody call you. They're like, "Hey man, they're fucking kids down in this pizza shop."
And you go, there's no basement
because you have to take it serious. Because like, what the fuck's going on? Somebody they're raping kids, so let's go see. But imagine this continues, and I really think, and I'm sure, just seeing some of the people have to deal with in life. If somebody recorded some of these and released the phone calls of obnoxious, weird shit that people tell them seeing, you'd be wondering what kind of drugs these people are doing.
No, exactly. I mean, and just to sum it up, I think that the election, what happened with the election, the steal of the election.
Yeah.
The steal of the election. Okay, so
I think they are the reason that this man lost.
No, exactly.
This group of shit.
So the election, again, Fox News themselves, they put Trump within the 50 range of approval for the last 4 years. So let's start there. Second of all, the elections went in favor of Biden, I think because a lot of people voted for Democrat, not out of love of Democrat, but out of hate to Trump. I know Republicans that actually voted for Biden this election around. I didn't, but I know actual Republicans that voted for Biden. Yeah. And they're very conservative Republicans.
No, I was shocked by some of them.
Yeah, I was like, what? I even called them out. I was like, why the fuck are you doing that? And they're like, well, I'm not at this and that. But regardless.
Well, hold on. Before we go, remember Bush Sr.?
Yeah.
How did he lose?
Yeah.
Here's what I'm trying to say. Economics influence.
Exactly.
The presidency.
People carry
Bush Sr. didn't do a bad job, but it was the war and the country was really hurting. Yeah. Clinton won. Of course, now somebody's going to go and give me all fucking reasons and all this shit.
No, people love their money. They love the country, they love this, they love that, but the money hits
we're
hard.
Fucked. Yeah. I got fucked. I'm like pissed about this shit. What's going on?
And people are voting with their pockets, and people are mad about their pockets.
Absolutely.
But 60 lawsuits in federal courts, and Trump
during his presidency?
No, Trump. I mean, questioning the elections.
He
questioned he filed lawsuits, and honestly, and here's the thing: I'm embarrassed. as a person who aligns with the conservative side, to see the idiotic, clown-like behavior of Giuliani standing in front of a lawn shop talking about conspiracy.
Can you please tell our audience about the lawn shop thing? Because I didn't know about it until you text. He texted me in the morning, and he was like, "Did you see?" I was like, "Roman, I just got up. What are you talking about?"
I honestly just watched the new movie of the Borat movie, and I thought it was like a segment of it. I was like, "Wow, that's actually so funny." And then I realized, no, this is serious.
Oh, the Borat movie?
Yeah, no. I thought that what happened with the conference was part of the movie.
Oh.
Because I just watched the movie and I was like, maybe they just released this later on. But no, it's actually serious. So Giuliani organized a press conference to talk about election fraud at the Four Seasons, but not the hotel. The Four Seasons Lawn Company, and stood outside a lawn company which has a porn shop next to it and something and a sex toy shop next to it.
Huh?
I didn't
know about that.
Yeah. And he stood there and gave a speech talking all serious about conspiracy. But this is the same guy who's an attorney. I don't know how he's an attorney, to be honest. It's embarrassing. He stood outside to talk to people. If anybody witnessed fraud, come talk to me on the right. Like, okay, if you're suing at a federal level and you're giving speeches asking for witnesses, I feel like you fucked up already. You don't have a lawsuit. And I mean, it went to 60 judges. Here's what I would like to say. It went to 60, over 60, by the way, over 60 lawsuits, all dismissed. Some of the judges were very conservative. Some of the judges were appointed by Trump. So hold on a second. So this conspiracy bullshit of no, Democrats stole it. Okay, Democrats stole it. But you have actual conservative appointed by Trump judges that looked at it and said, there is no fraud. Get the fuck out of here. You don't even have a case. What does that mean?
I just looked at the camera and I'm just shrugging. Because what do you want me to say?
I mean, that's what Lindsey Graham said. Lindsey Graham said here on the 6th, after what happened in the Capitol. And I actually liked his speech. For the first time, I agree with Graham. I usually don't like the guy. But he said it. He said, okay, we have 60 lawsuits. Some of them are Republicans. Some of them are conservative. Some of them are appointed by Trump. Overlooked it. There was no fraud. The Congress, the Republican side and Democrat side said, okay, perfect. We will look into fraud. But don't tell us bullshit of that person voted and a prisoner voted and a minor voted. Actually bring us facts. Bring us names. And Lindsey Graham said, here's the thing. Lindsey Graham said, I asked the Trump campaign. He said that on his speech. He said, I asked the Trump campaign to provide me with 5 names, just 5, of people that committed fraud. I mean, if you have thousands, then you should have 5 names. Easily say, these are the names, so I can fact check and actually look into it. He got 0. So if you're telling me there's fraud, then you should be able to easily produce evidence. Everything that got posted online, when it went to actual committees, they said either there's bullshit, nobody that voted under that name, or the person didn't vote at all, or something like that. So there's 0 proof. There was one case of proof, by the way, that person voted twice. She was a Republican lady.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's the only one we actually found. I'm not saying there's no fraud, but there is no proof of it. There's 0
I
proof.
don't think it's governmental fraud. People fraud, I do agree.
Yeah.
People trying to fraud the system. And I still, and here's the danger thing, ladies and gentlemen. It is very dangerous. And a lot of world was watching, and the world was getting mad. See, here's what the people in this country underestimate. The American greatness and influence. But it waves on a balance. When I say this, it's rocky and it's scary. The world, I'm going to put a post, and it was Among Us Arabs, and he wrote it in Arabic and his TikTok on that. They put it in English, but for some reason, people don't pay attention to what he says. He said, this is scary. The world was quiet and watching like this. What is going to be the known people, like even the Prince of Saudi said, he said, when the elections of the American country gets questioned, this is a very dangerous precedent for the future. And it started scaring even Europe.
Yeah.
Because what we have done now, y'all going to think we're going to be a period and move on. The damage has been done.
No.
This is really thick damage that this is going to carry on, because now we're not thinking about, of course, we have these loonies, the conspiracy theorists, but we're not thinking about the other kids who are never growing up. It's like, well, what the fuck I'm voting? It's all lies. Nobody did.
No. Exactly. I mean, the U.S. has always been the capital of democracy.
Yes.
Always been the.
I don't care what people
democracy.
say. This is what it is.
And the entire world, especially with modern governments who are new to democracy. Let's say Iraq hasn't had democracy.
They look up to the United States.
They look up and say, okay, American democracy, we strive and thrive to be like an American democracy one day. That's what Iraqi media says all the time. We hope to be like American democracy. And other countries who are new to democracy, hey, we're only like 10 years into voting and actual democracy. They look up to the U.S. and now they're saying, hey, does democracy actually work? If it works, then why these guys are fighting about it? Why, if there's fraud in America, the greatest country on earth, then how can we trust our system to not have fraud? And it's a dangerous situation because you're having countries where Iraq election is coming up in June, and that's already being said. Why should we trust the elections in Iraq when American election is fraud? It's the greatest country alive.
And this is what the sad thing. This president, this leaving president, that's leaving soon, have set the precedent of questioning this. And what helped all these QAnon and conspiracy theories to get this raging hard on now. Oh, he said it, so it must be true. Not really. And I never seen a president in my life that got fact-checked so many 50 fucking times and got caught with lies. And I'm talking about both medias. Let's look at this shit. The media became fake news.
Yes.
So it gave these guys an outlet now to start going for YouTube and all this shit. There's no such thing as a virus. But then when everybody got smacked and the country got crippled, now they believed it.
Exactly.
Now they know it is serious. I got hit with it. My kid got hit. You got hit with it. Not everybody maybe dies, but this shit is real.
Yep.
It is real. And I don't care who the fuck came up with it. It's real, and it had really brought us to our knees. The world has been brought to our knees and tested us. And this is why this mentality has been rising in a bad way instead of uniting to fight this. The other thing that is scary about this, think about it. What are we showing the other world? We have enemies. We have enemies.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't care what you want to call them, Russian, Chinese, or whatever. They show how stupid and fragile you are.
No. By the way, just to not forget the point, Iran came out. Iran, the piece of shit country.
Yep, it is a piece of shit.
The funding of terrorists across the Middle East came out and said, we do not accept, in the UN they said that, we will not accept the United States criticizing us ever again after what they did in January 6th. You have the president sending his militia to take over the capital, and you dare criticize us? This is a terroristic country, and they're basically saying, hey guys, you can't criticize us. You just did that. A Trump rally took over and took the capital. You can't criticize us anymore for what we do.
Yeah, and of course everybody's going to argue, well, it wasn't Trump rally. I don't care. This is not what the world will see it.
Now we'll see it. And there's conspiracy that all these are Antifa, and there's this, that. First of all, I looked at all the pictures. A couple of the people were pictured in Black Lives Matter protest, and they're like, oh, see? They're in Black Lives Matter. No. But if they cut the picture, if you look at the full picture, they were actually counter-protesting Antifa, or they counter-protesting Black Lives Matter. So they were there, but they were not with Black Lives Matter. They were actually against Black Lives Matter. And most of them left after the rally and got there. And then this guy with a hand tattoo got, this is a communist sign. Yeah. It turns out it's from a video game. And the tattoo symbols like being an outsider.
You told me, ask my son, and he said he confirmed it.
It's from a video game. Yeah. So with all the shit, and now they're arresting the people who've been there, and their identities are coming, and their social media is coming out, and they're very conservative people. So here's the thing, which I'm very for. I'm very conservative, but when we fuck up, let's take responsibility.
That's the thing.
This is the thing we teach our kids. I'm saying we as conservatives have always said, well, the other side doesn't have personal responsibility. When their kid gets shot in a gas station, they blame the gas station owner. Okay, great, you're right. But now when we start fucking up, let's take responsibility and say, these idiots did it. They made us look bad. They made Republicans look bad.
What did me and you say? Remember that word, snowflake?
Yeah.
What is the other side now doing?
Where both sides are doing it. But it's personal responsibility. What are you teaching your kids? You're teaching your kids to not have responsibility? Well, when your own party fucks up, say our own party fucked up, and there's a group of people
admission of responsibility. This is the danger.
Take responsibility to our actions. I mean, say, hey, come on. And I've said that on Facebook. As a conservative, I feel ashamed of the actions of these people who did.
You're one of the only few that did that?
Yeah. And I said, of course, they don't represent everybody that was, and I actually made a YouTube video about it. To clarify, they don't represent every person that was in D.C. during the rally. There's a small group of people that took advantage and actually raided and committed a crime. And I'm against it. But we take personal responsibility. What's wrong with personal responsibility?
I take responsibility all the time. Sometimes, you see me in class. One day I taught something. I'm like, fuck. I saw everybody. I was like, guys, I fucked up. Excuse me, I had so many headshots. And you guys laugh.
No.
Like, let me fix this here. Let me show you.
No, exactly.
You have to do this. And the problem is, like you said, Omar, and I keep saying it from the beginning, do pay attention who we're leaving this example for. Not just other countries and, of course, the enemies. Our children.
Exactly.
You don't understand. I was just speaking to a good friend. He's liberal. I'll call him a raging liberal, but he's a good friend of mine. I even said to him, and he said, he saw me did this post about Martin Luther King. I love Martin Luther King. To me, he's a hero in my eyes. Now a lot of people is. And to me, it's finally touching and hurting when I put the message of Martin, now Dr. King, and I'm like, man, what are we telling our kids? Here's this dude that took a beating and insults and everything and stood and fought. Look what we're doing now.
Exactly.
And now we're conspiracy theorists with tinfoils on our heads, talking about kids being raped in pizza shops, talking about that we're sending people up to Mars and shit, talking about Bigfoot jerking off looking at, come on, guys, what the fuck's going on here? Like, where it went, like he said, it went from comical to now disgusting. I mean, this is what we want to be known as Americans? One point before I leave, he'll agree with me and I'll let him shoot on this too. How many calls and texts we get now from our families down there making fun of us?
A lot.
Remember we used to get, can you get me this? Can you get me that? Oh my God, we saw this. Remember? Now what is the kind of text we're getting?
No, exactly. But like, they're laughing. They're like, oh, this is America.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing, which is disappointing, because those are the same people that 2-3 months ago would have considered the United States to be the greatest country. They would talk with admiration. They'd be like, oh my God, you're so lucky you live in the greatest country.
The flags that they used to wave for, not even their country, to have the American flag down there.
Exactly. Hong Kong waved American flags during their protest in a sign of they want the American democracy. In Iraq, they waved American flags during the October Revolution as a sign that we want the American
the
democracy.
War, the Saudis, we were all cheering America to go against Saddam.
Exactly.
The first Gulf War.
They have all these people who are proud of what America is, and now they're looking at us as a joke. And I mean, honestly, here's the thing. I have a lot of Republican friends who are on Facebook saying, we can't wait till January 20th.
Yeah.
I'm one of them. I can't wait. So all of you idiots talking about Trump is going to still be in office and Michael Jackson walking and Kennedy can shut the fuck up for finally. And it's time to actually, and honestly, this have caused more damage to the Republican Party. I don't expect us, meaning Republicans, to ever get office again for the next at least 10 years. Yeah. At least 12. We're not going to see it. 2024, forget it. 2028, forget it.
Man, look at the losses of the House and the Senate, and I mean this
when you have states like mostly very conservative, Georgia, and states like that who are going either way, Arizona.
Oh, well, we got to be next. Missouri, what the senator just did.
Exactly.
They're trying to get him out right now.
I mean, when you think of Arizona, I went to Arizona. The only time I've been to Arizona was actually during a Republican convention. Arizona is very Republican. And I mean, once you start going either way, hold on a second. Then you must be fucking up so bad.
And this is the thing. You just said it here. The party itself needs to take a step back and be like, okay. Here's what I'm going to say this. And I don't want to add any more of this because it's giving me like a heartburn. It's not the coffee. Just like, I see you getting angry. Your hands are shaking. And I'm like, because we're passionate about this country. We love this country. This country have given us opportunities that no fucking other country in the world have ever given us. I have a gym. I'm in a leadership position. Umar has a PhD. He has a good fucking position. He has a beautiful wife that he met her here. Yeah. Not in Baghdad. He met his Arab wife here. And he's living happily married. He's running his business. This is a country of the best opportunities in the world. This is a beautiful country. But what the fuck, people? Like this stuff here? Throw this garbage. We are people that created. We are the people that made medicine. We are the people that went to space. We're the people that even brought movies to the world. Think about this. We have made. Now we came to the point that we're walking around like this.
No, exactly. It's
we're talking about Michael Jackson coming out of the death and this. What's going on, guys? So at the end of the story, this is all fun and games. But it's really getting sad. It's getting terrible. And I really hope this lesson has been learned. And there's one thing we need to also understand, and this needs to be said. When President Donald Trump took the presidency, I'm one of the people that believe in who is the leader is the leader. I said, that's our commander-in-chief right now. Let's give him a chance. In support, I want the country to succeed. Turned out the shit went to shit. And I even told him, I was like, this is fucked.
Oh, exactly.
This is just fucked. Now we got President Biden coming in. We have to, for our fucking sake, that he has to do good, not to wish him wrong or failure, because if he failed, this country has failed. We are really at the worst position we have ever been. Ladies and gentlemen, we're brought to our knees now. Just think about it. A fucking virus and all of this shit going on. I don't care what you want to call this virus, has brought us to our knees. You can't. Do you wish President Biden to fail? As a conservative,
not at all. Not at all. He's the pilot of the plane. Wishing him harm because he's not the pilot of my choice is going to take the plane down. And that doesn't make sense. And people don't understand it's a domino effect. When you wish big companies to fail, that goes back on the smaller companies. It's when you wish the president to fail, that comes on you. You know, you wish all these billionaires, Amazon will fail. How many jobs would
Eat the rich?
lose?
This shit that they keep posting. Eat the rich. All right, who's going to pay for your fucking job?
Okay, well, Jeff Bezos is gone and Amazon is gone. How many jobs are related to Amazon that's gone? When you wish Bill Gates is gone, how many jobs related to Microsoft will be gone? And I mean, the president of the country is the leader of us, and we wish him that he would do well, even though he was not my choice. But I wish him to do well because then, in the end of the day, a better America is for everybody. It's not just for Democrats. A better America, a safer America is for all of us, not just Democrats and Republicans. It's for all of us. Let's have a better example in the world, and let's go back to being the America that we were after 9/11. As sad and tragic that is, we were a better America after 9/11 than we are today.
United.
We were united. People were proud to fly their flag.
The fucking senators all stood and said the national anthem together.
Exactly. They were proud to be Americans.
For fuck's sake.
People were
Can we have that
proud
again?
of the military. People were proud of shit like that. And now let's go back to that.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Like, why is it takes people like us and people look at us as immigrants? Yeah, we have appreciation more than people here. You know why? Because we know the ugly side. And this country is going to a very dark time. And I don't believe shit has to get bad for it to get better. And I do hope this is the shit, not more.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I just wish everybody well. Anyway, I leave it over. I had enough.
Well, thank you guys for joining and listening to us. We're going to start doing more videos like this.
Yes.
So if you have any ideas, please shoot us a DM or comment and let us know.
We appreciate that a lot because this video was highly recommended from a lot of people. Omar worked on it, and thank God for Black Friday sales. As much as people hate it, we got this good camera because we're broke as fuck right now with this shit.
Exactly.
And we're also talking about there's kind of we're not rebranding. We're kind of changing some things here. Merchandising is coming too, so we need support.
Exactly. Stay tuned. Thank you guys.